Hey, how's it going, everybody? Back in with another review. If you care for me, please like, comment, subscribe to the channel. We'll be posting, like I said, more reviews and stuff. But yeah, so the movie I'm reviewing right now is um, Cocaine Bear. All right, uh, so you see, the movie came out last year. Uh, so 2023. So the funny thing is about 2023. There were a lot of movies that came out in 2023. Big summer blockbusters, all that stuff. I think Oppenheimer was one of my anticipated films, which I will be reviewing that too. Since I did Barbie, I should have did Barbie and Oppenheimer back to back, but there were two really big movies before I heard of Oppenheimer that I was really anticipating, and that was Megan and Cocaine Bear. So that's so that was a big one. Like these were like my two like anticipated films of 2023. So I had to really uh watch this eventually because I kind of heard reviews on it. I forgot what people said about them, but I know the scores wasn't very high. I think the critic score on Rotten Tomatoes is like 66 on this, and the audience score 71. So not very high. Um, but I didn't expect this or Megan to be really any good. And so if you go check out my review on Megan, I gave that glowing reviews. I think I gave Megan a high recommend too. I think I said it was one of my favorite movies last year. Um, and since then, I've seen Megan like 10 times. I love that movie. Um, my wife, she watched a lot of movies like 100 times, but like I love Megan. That's a good movie. Uh, so getting into this, uh, Cocaine Bear. So this is a movie. Uh, Stars Carrie Russell, a name I haven't heard in ages, and I know who Carrie Russell is every time I hear her. I think the last time I heard she was anything was that old TV show, The Americans, and that was like in the late 2000s or early 2010s, somewhere in there. But she was in The Americans, and I want to watch the show. I kind of started on, I didn't finish it, but I'm gonna finish it up. So she's in The Americans, and she's in here. So she basically plays like this mom, and the movie basically takes place back in the 80s because this is actually based on a true story. And when I say based, it's not exactly a true story. It's based on a true story. Because this is a movie where a bear ingests a whole pound, pretty much, of cocaine, and after he ingests it, he just basically just goes on a killing spree. Um, Now here's my thing with Cocaine Bear and Megan. Because with both of them, they both took like a premise, and they were required to do something clever with it. Um, and Megan really did that because through and through, like, not only was it like a story behind it, there was a message and everything too about technology and uh, letting technology raise our kids. That's basically what the story or the premise was behind Megan, and it was violent and it was funny. Um, Now with Cocaine Bear, uh, so when I first watched this, I was like, so going through it, I was like, man, this is actually kind of funny, man. Like, I think I might go against the critics and the audience for at this point because I was kind of getting to it. I was like, it's kind of funny. Now this is the first third of the movie because y'all know how movies are cut into thirds. So the last two thirds of this movie, um, was kind of trash. It was trash. Like, okay, I don't know much about Elizabeth Banks because I haven't really seen too many movies she directed. But I've heard rumors through the movie world that she's just not a good director. Um, what was it? The Pitch Perfect movies. Those didn't really seem like my type of movies like that. But they said she took over the. They said Pitch Perfect 1 and 2 was really good, and then she took over the third one, I guess, and then the third one wasn't as great. Um, and then and then what I thought was a bizarre move was she announced that she was doing a Charlie's Angels remake, um, which, according to her own words, she was targeting women, although Charlie's Angels was made for guys, so I didn't understand that one too much. But she said it was to make it for women, and the funny thing is, and this is no joke, I was working at I'm sorry, it's real quick, but I was working at the casino at that time, and just do a little experiment. I even asked some of the women I worked with um, if they even knew a Charlie's Angels remake was coming because this is around the time it was coming out. This is 2018, I guess, or something like that. But I asked some of the girls I was working with, I was like, did y'all even know there was a Charlie's Angels remake coming out? And they just looked at me like, no, I had no idea. So it was poor marketing on her part. And then the movie, from what I'm hearing, it wasn't even that great anyway. So, so a lot of people said Elizabeth Banks is just a weak director. And watching this movie, wow, I didn't even play it. I did not play the clip. Wow, that's crazy. I'm up here rambling. I didn't even turn the trailer on. Yeah, so I'm sorry. I was running around with the trailer just being frozen. So, but I have honestly heard that uh, Elizabeth Banks is just not a strong director. Uh, like I said, she did that last Pitch Perfect movie, and they said that was the worst Pitch Perfect out of all of them. And then she did the Charlie's Angels remake, which I thought was a miscalculated remake. She could have did something else, honestly. Uh, and then this, because like it started out funny, and I was like, okay, I was like, uh, because because if y'all know the true story of this movie, the bear actually died from eating that whole kilo of coke. Like, um, a regular person can't handle that much cocaine. So imagine what that would do to a bear. Animals have a lot lower tolerance than people do. Because honestly, we eat a whole brick of cocaine, we're gonna OD and die. And that's what happened to him. They made a bust to him, and they called him Pablo Escobar. Yeah, Pablo Escobar. But yeah, so I thought when it started out, it was kind of funny. Like it had me laughing at some parts, and I just felt like the further, like maybe the first third of this was funny, and then I think like after that first third, this movie just lost steam. Uh, I think Elizabeth Banks just ran out of jokes. This is not funny after a while. Like it's just not, and it's like she doesn't like the whole point of her was she was going for like a comedy, and she kind of lost sight of this. This pretty much just becomes this is basically a slasher movie with a bear. That's all this is. Like the movie, the trailer doesn't give you like when you saw the trailer and you saw the bear running around killing people. That's basically the movie. Like there's nothing else to this. Like if y'all thought like, oh man, there's gonna be some clever, there's gonna be some funny jokes in here, some clever jokes. No, it's not. Literally, like it's a bear high on cocaine just running around killing people. That's the movie. Um, and that's rather disappointing. Like I said, like this, like, again, last year, this and Megan were my two most anticipated films of the year. And I can't tell y'all how disappointed I was watching this. Like, it, like the, well, again, that first third when I saw it and I was laughing, I was like, man, it's about to beat my expectations. And then the further I watched it, like I said, the further I watched it, uh, the the weaker the movie got, and it ended on such a weak note. It just ended on you know how they that old saying, start with a bang, end with a whimper. That's pretty much what this movie did, and then with a huge whimper, and it's crazy because it's got some good actors in here. Ice Cube's son is in here, O'Shea Jackson Jr. Uh, like I said again, you got Kerry Russell in here, um, and which debunked my myth because I always thought she was related to Kurt Russell, and now I found out she wasn't. So that got me there. But she's good in this as always. They don't really give her much to do in here because the movie so because it's the way the movie's structured. It's cut into three different people. So it's Kerry Russell and the group she's running with, the park ranger who's played by the woman who was in Dexter. What's her name? It's a woman that was in Dexter. I can't remember her name. Margot Martindale. She's in this too, and that's the lady who was in control of the records in Dexter. If y'all seen Dexter, uh, so because I knew her immediately. I saw the moment I saw her, and then and then you also have the late Ray Liotta in here, which they do pay tribute to him at the end of the movie. Rest in peace, Ray Liotta. He plays like this. He basically plays like this crime boss who's looking for the cocaine that was dropped off the plane, and he sends his son, and he sends O.C. Jackson Jr. Oh man, excuse me. So he sends him to go look for the cocaine that's missing, pretty much. But he doesn't know that this bear just like ingested all that stuff. Um, and then it is basically like one of those movies where it splits off, and everybody ends up in the same place, but it's separate. So like Carrie Russell is looking for her daughter, uh, and and then it's O'Shea Jackson Jr. and his friend, who I thought was kind of hilarious. He's having to come to Jesus moment because he lost somebody important in his family, and he doesn't want to be in the drug business anymore. So that was kind of nice. And then let's see, and then you have the who's that cop? I can't remember that old guy, the older black dude. Who's that cop? But he basically, yeah. So it's funny because he has like one of his fellow officers watch his dog while he goes to Georgia uh, to basically find the one behind the cocaine because he found out somebody was there or whatever, or he found out the person he's looking for was there. So uh, so I thought it was funny, but at the same time I felt like when so this is where I say like Kerry Washington. Oh, Kerry Washington. I keep saying that. I keep thinking Kerry Washington. Kerry Russell. The thing with her is because she has all these different stories to follow, all these different characters. The narrative doesn't stay really consistent, and I don't think the comedy really stays consistent. I don't think it works that well. I think that's where I sit. Like I think after that first half, that first third, because you can't write up. You're doing a whole hour and a half movie. This movie's an hour and a half, so you can't just do a first third movie. You got to go all the way. And I felt like she did a first third movie, and then uh, the other two thirds of this movie just falls completely flat. There's really no comedy. Um, it's really what you hope this movie would not be. I was thoroughly disappointed with this. Like I was disappointed. Um, and I usually uh, with these types of movies, like I usually anticipate these the most because I feel like they're going to be funny, they're going to be smart, and all that stuff too. And I just never felt like I'm like after that, like I said, after that first third, I just felt like I felt the movie slipping, like it started going downhill from there. And this just became more, like I said, it became more of like a crime drama mixed with like uh, uh, a slasher film. Basically, that's what it was. Uh, like I said, rest in peace of Ray Liotta. I thought he was great in this. Uh, I said the cop right there, he was pretty good too. Uh, and I was gonna say something else too about this, because like honestly, uh, as much as I wanted to like this, and like that's what I'm saying, like I don't want to dog on Elizabeth Banks. You know, she did it her little bit. I remember she was promoting this movie, and she came out. You know, she was dressed nice and everything, and then she has somebody come out and dress in a bear suit promoting this movie. So you know, she at least I will say with this, at least she compared to Charlie's Angels, she gave this some heavy promotion. Um, but I just don't think this movie was enough to recommend to people that highly. Oh yeah, that's what I remember. Okay. So there's a segment where it's just the two kids by themselves, and I thought that was actually the weakest part of the movie. That part was terrible. Because the only comedy with those kids, at least from what I felt, was um, I don't want to say what it is that happens in here, but even that part's not that great. But there's where I felt like that was a missed opportunity. But there's a part too where um, they're doing comedy, but their only comedy in here is that they're cussing, and kids cussing in movies doesn't get me anymore because I hear that on the daily. You know what I'm saying? I get, you know, there's 8 year olds, you know, saying racial slurs on Call of Duty. You know what I mean? Like kids cussing doesn't surprise me anymore. So to hear it, this movie was just made last year, and Elizabeth Banks thinks that's comedy. Like it's like, come on, you know, come on, man, let's get with the times. You know what I mean? Get with the times. You know, kids are cussing. Like that's nothing. Like I'm not gonna watch a movie and be shocked that an 8 year old is saying the F word. Like I don't like I hear it all the time. So yeah, yeah, this movie was a little disappointing. This movie was very disappointing. Yeah, towards the end, this movie, honestly, I could have cut this off in the first third, and I would have been satisfied with what I got. Seriously, this is not worth your time. Uh, Maybe for that first third, and that's probably about it. But uh, I'm gonna go with a low recommend on this one. I was gonna give it a moderate, but the more I thought about it, I was like, man, that last two thirds is taxing. Like it's hard to get it. Like you're just waiting. You're kind of waiting for the movie to be done. At least I know I was when I was sitting there. I was just waiting for the movie to be finished. Yeah, this is a low recommend for me. Um, I and again, this is coming from somebody who was really looking forward to this. I wanted this to be a good movie. I saw the trailer. I was like, man, I've got to see this movie. And now that I've finally seen it, I know I put it off for about a year because I've heard the reviews were a little disappointing, and even watching it myself, and I'm like, yeah, this was disappointing. Like this was such a missed opportunity type film. Like I said, first third started out strong, and then like the further it got from that first third, the weaker it got, and that ending was terrible. It's the basic ending. I won't say it's terrible. It's just that basic ending that you get, that everything's gonna be all right in the end. So, uh, yep. So this is a low recommend. Uh, Definitely low recommend. So uh, again, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe below, and subscribe or comment below. I keep saying subscribe. Comment below and let me know if you thought I was wrong and you actually really like this movie. I don't know what I'm talking about, but yeah, definitely let me know in the comment section. Uh, but definitely do like and subscribe to that. Definitely helps the channel out when you do things like that. Um, uh, so I'll go ahead and hop off here, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.